Hello, my name is Peregrine. On the 29th of April 2026, popular and much beloved Overwatch YouTuber SuperTF went live and did his usual 1 hour yap session of standing still under practice range, one of his favourite activities that the chat always loves. He's been doing it for years and it's nice to hear someone just talk their shit. However, this day in particular he had something incredibly curious and very incongruent to say.
I feel like there's so many talk about streamers viewbotting, but I feel like almost nobody actually does. Like, am I insane?
Super doesn't believe in viewbotting on Twitch. That's odd. This topic had come up in particular because a friend of his, ExtraEmily, had been caught viewbotting live on stream, with her having a viewbotting website open in a private tab and having suspicious view accounts that she had previously not had before and a dead chat. While this was already suspicious, whenever this was posted to Livestream Fails, the most popular streaming subreddit, they were taken down instantly, causing a bit of a Streisand effect until the news was absolutely everywhere and undeniable, as the excuse she had for having it open was impossible to replicate, as it was a pop-up window that had somehow opened in incognito, and also the website advertised that they did it for her. Super's reaction to this was incredibly strange, because he was being faced with undeniable proof yet still continued to deny it. The entire chat was shitting on him for it, and he continued, which is really strange behaviour for Super in particular, as he has always struggled to take sides on literally anything, leading to him being labelled a fence sitter and having several memes about him in the chat about how much he enjoys bouncing up and down on that thing.
Guy who's friends with a viewbotter? She does not viewbot. Oh my fucking god, bro. I feel like it's not as big of a problem as people like to pretend it is, but maybe I'm wrong. Here we go. Also, that website, I saw that whole clip thing, bro. That website is like, I don't even know. But that whole thing is just bullshit. Everything about that website is so fucking fake and fraudulent. I don't buy a single second of any of that. I'm sorry.
He went on a rant for a few minutes about how the website is literal bullshit and there's no viewbotting on Twitch, even though he opened a stream that was undeniably being viewbotted, and viewbotting is currently a known issue in the community at the moment.
Asian Jeff. I mean, this could be legit.
There was a massive bot purge on Twitch which wiped out 20% of the fucking website's accounts. After being given the reasons why someone would viewbot, he still claimed that it didn't make any sense until it became abundantly clear that he had to agree with chat, so he folded. Again, a very strange look from Super to try and gaslight his chat and also silence them, when he's well known for letting chatters talk their shit. Also, ExtraEmily was a part of the notorious $1 Million fan scam, which was entirely blamed on Mythic Talent Agency, whereas in reality, the content creators were just as guilty and happy to go along with this blatant scam, probably to pocket some of the money when the series fails. Unless, you know, she just didn't look at what she was advertising, which is equally as fucking damning. So what about this situation was so different than the other controversies Super has commented on? Well, put simply, ExtraEmily is a friend, involved in a group that I would like to dub the Hollywood of streamers, which Super is currently in the process of joining or has already joined. These people relentlessly protect their own, look down on all other types of content creators, and look for any opportunity to climb higher, make more money, and shit on those who aren't a part of their inner circle. Similar to real-world Hollywood. And also similar to Hollywood, this inner circle points towards a few more powerful individuals that head this entire operation, with the two most powerful being a notable couple. One, well known for making millions on bland, brand-safe content that as anyone has ever shit out, and one much more well known for spending the majority of her time complaining about how hard her life is while sitting still and looking pretty. I am, of course, talking about Ludwig and Cutie Cinderella. These two have a very peculiar way of doing things. They're entirely reliant on collaborations to be relevant due to their lack of individual personalities, and seem to have a method of how they attract people. Ludwig focuses on the gamer crowd, and QT focuses on the IRL streamers, creating a wide net that encompasses the only relevant parts of Twitch. They make sure to only game progressive, centrist or liberal, unproblematic streamers, removing all of those with extreme opinions on either side of the aisle, preferring to stay away from politics, but still dipping their toes in when it benefits them. Whenever a YouTube or streaming event happens, they're usually somehow involved, and make sure that only the same 50 streamers get involved in things. A streamwazee, if you will. With the example of Super has collaborated with them several times, and has gushed on stream about how awesome and kind they are, purchasing him expensive hotel rooms and food and gifts, which yes, Could just be them being kind, but seems more like them looking after their own, or maybe even potentially a use of the law of reciprocity, in which Super now feels indebted to this inner circle. For example, he would speak up in favour of them if one of them maybe got caught viewbotting or taking part in a giant scam. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's why he did it, I don't know, I'm just theorising. When it comes to streaming in the modern day, it's really about how entertaining you are or your actual skills. It's more about who you know and how well you can network. And these two in particular are always there to meet up-and-coming streamers, to invite them to their annual Streamer Awards, where they give out awards to artificially inflate the notoriety of streamers they've already helped, and to give nominations to streamers who are already successful in the hopes that their fanbase will come over and donate to watch. But of course, only if you're in their clique, because if you aren't, they won't pay you any attention. Because if you aren't useful to them, you're a waste of time, and they will look for the first opportunity to throw you away, or they will slight you and insult you until you leave them. A prime example of this was the 2025 Streamer Awards. If it wasn't already clear, the Hollywood of streamers hates VTubers. The reason for this is unknown, but it could have something to do with the fact that VTubers stay anonymous while famous, so they don't have to run into their disgusting fans. Or perhaps it's because VTubers generally have more personality and rely less on pretty privilege? I don't know. This was massively amplified in 2025 when the award was to be given out by notorious titty streamer CuteBot. She announced the award with a shocking amount of venom and downplayed the entire act of VTubing down to aura farming.
I'm super excited to present this next award. Uwu worked hard at mastering peak kawaii and ada aura farming.
None of those words are in the Bible. Perhaps this was an insecure projection of her own content. I don't know. This speech was obviously planned to be as toxic and venomous as humanly possible, to try and publicly embarrass VTubers, as nothing says feminism like women putting other women down. The way this speech was written is massively reductive of the amount of work that these people do, as VTubers really aren't just streamers but closer to that of idol culture. So they not only have to do regular streaming stuff, but also countless hours of singing training, dieting, dancing, and voice act. Not to mention, it's wildly misogynistic to suggest that a woman on streaming, people are only there for sex rather than personality and comedy. This level of hatred for their peers was then doubled down on by the announcement that winner of VTuber of the Year would be the infinite.
Hello everyone, I am honored.
This was a very odd selection for many reasons. Firstly, the burnt peanut was very fresh and had only just come up, which was a weird representation of the whole year. But also, secondly, the fact that the burnt peanut had said on multiple different occasions that he wasn't a VTuber and doesn't want to associate with that crowd.
Even though I'm a VTuber, that's okay. Little miscommunication there, peanut tuber.
So why was he even nominated in the first place, other than giving these freaks the opportunity to humiliate their fellow content creators? Thirdly, it was also somewhat strange that at the time, it was the first time a large amount of the internet had been exposed to the burnt peanut. And fourthly, probably the most strange point, mere days before this event, the burnt peanut called someone a homophobic slur on stream, which for this group of neolibs is supposed to be frowned upon. But I don't know, I guess they hate VTubers so much that they're willing to let their mask slip and reveal that they don't give a flying fuck about politics or causes that they claim to support. On the subject of that, let's address the elephant in the room: politics. This group of people are outwardly progressive. They'll tweet things like trans rights, talk about being feminists, and donate to BLM, but when it actually comes to putting their money where their mouth is, they fall silent. A large chunk of the Hollywood of streamers come from an infamous content group known as OTK, and they've happily collaborated in the past with known hard right streamers such as Asmongold and Tectone. While yes, these people have now been ousted for their extreme opinions, that was only done when that was discovered by a larger audience. For example, things like white supremacy and neo-Nazi ideology are both very common within these two streamers. I would like to make the claim, and put this forwards, that there was absolutely no chance in hell they do not know the opinion of these guys. They hung out a lot, and politics always ends up being brought up one way or another. Opinions like these don't just spawn out of nowhere. They knew who these people were and continued to collaborate with them anyway. Another clear example of this negligence was Miskiv, who was accused of covering up a sexual assault in 2022, which notably Ludwig did call out, but then backed down from the accusation because OTK investigated themselves and found no wrongdoing. Then, in 2025, when Miskiff was outed by his ex that he was abusive, emotionally, physically and sexually, there was no doubt in everyone's mind the 2022 case was indeed true and Ludwig backed down due to only public opinion. It is clear to me that this inner circle have no genuine morals and only come out against these people when the public opinion turns on them. It should be abundantly clear by now that no one involved with OTK should be trusted as collaborators, yet to this day, OTK still reigns supreme as Twitch's bestest pals and are regularly involved with large creators, such as Ludwig's group. Although it might seem pretty harsh that I'm accusing Ludwig of having no morals, it cannot be denied that he simply does not care as much as he should, as he has been a member of 2 MrBeast videos, in spite of the controversies MrBeast have been a part of. Any streamer with a conscience should be denying these opportunities, especially if, like Ludwig, you already have enough money to retire for the rest of your life and then another one. There is no reason to be in a MrBeast video other than to farm clout and money, and even less so to be in the same video as a crypto scammer and suicide exploiter Logan Paul, and Trump promoter and friend of neo-Nazi Aiden Ross, XQC. Why on God's green earth would you think it was appropriate to collaborate these people? They very clearly clash with their morals. Well, I guess it's the Occam's razor. They don't have morals. The opinions that they do share are virtue signals to come across as hip and down with the kids and the left. I mean, fuck me, the amount of performatism that Ludwig does makes a sandpiper look like a fucking saint. Speaking of pretending to care, let's talk about something else. We'll move on to QT's friend. Let's talk about Reflect. Here's a blast from the past for you. Reflect was a failed skincare scam set up by YouTuber Valkyrie, a very close friend of QT Cinderella. In short, Reflect was a brand of skincare with an inflated price tag which promises to protect the skin from the damages caused by blue light from screen usage.
You don't need to protect your skin against blue light from screens. Even with a big ass monitor, you would need days or months to get the same blue light as 15 minutes of sun. And if you do want to protect against blue light from the sun, which honestly isn't a big issue for most people, these products still probably won't do much. The active ingredients are antioxidants, which could potentially mop up the free radicals that the light causes in your skin, but that's so much less effective than blocking the blue light from getting into your skin in the first place, like a sunscreen.
Yet Valkyrie was insistent that it does because lay scientists said so. Now, I want you to engage in a little thought experiment with me. If I say light damaging the skin, what medical condition do you think of first? No, skin cancer. Essentially, Valkyrie set up a fake cancer scare to sell her dogshit inflated price skincare products to walk away with huge profit from terrified children and teenagers who are probably going to buy it out of the fear of getting cancer. As a cancer survivor myself, this is fucking unacceptable. This entire drama was spoken about, but was very quickly pushed under the rug and blamed on the company instead of the streamer who promoted it. These groups did not comment on this shit, and whenever they did, it would be something like, oh, she's so silly, and moving on. Somehow managing to play the fool while pretending to be a super business genius. Incredibly curious. I've made a video about that on the past, but it was a million years ago and it was really bad. But I cannot describe how angry Reflect makes me. It's one of... I think this should have been career ending. I think this bitch should not have a career. It was so just mind-blowingly insensitive. But in case you're bored of getting actual factual information from me, I have a conspiracy theory as well to go along with this, and it involves the disgraced streamer Call Me Carson. I don't have anything concrete, but something smells off. I have long suspected there was something a little bit deeper at play when he was cancelled, because a lot of things really don't add up. For those not in the know, Call Me Carson was a YouTuber who rocketed to fame in 2018 and became beloved pretty much overnight. He was charmingly weird, he didn't fit the usual stereotype of a YouTuber, he stayed down to earth and was always humble. He was just a fat, ugly guy who was funny, and we liked him for that. He stuck to his content and shared the spotlight with all of his friends. Then in 2021, 2 of Carson's friends went on Drama Alert with fucking Keemstar, of all people, to make the claim that when Carson was 19, he sexted with 2 fans, with one being 17. Now, to all those in the audience over the age of 21 who are currently scratching your head going, a 2-year age gap got him cancelled? Really? And yes, that's what happened. Despite being basically the same age, and in the words of Moist Critical, could have been in the same grade, Carson was branded a groomer and a paedophile by the streaming community at large, which is incredibly odd as it wasn't even remotely true, and even stranger considering the amount of genuine sexual assaults they're happy to cover up, and how welcoming they are to porn stars streaming on their child-focused website. To this day, I can't quite put my finger on why they chose to throw Carson under the bus. Was it just pretty privilege and because Carson is chopped and fat that he was thrown to the wolves? Or was maybe he wasn't gelling well with the inner circle? Maybe it's because they knew their child audience thought a 2-year age gap was massive. Like, if you're a child watching this, you probably think that 19, 17 is bad, but when you get older, no, it's the same age. Nothing changes between 17 and 19, I'm so dead ass. Or maybe he was slowing down and outlived his usefulness. Like, he brought Schlatt into the limelight, and Schlatt was really good at making money for everyone. Like, even after 5 years, I cannot seem to shake this feeling that there was something larger at play in this whole controversy, because it didn't make sense. And all of these streamers who were pushing 30 at the time should know there was no difference between 17 and 19, but they stuck to it anyway, and I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it is just public perception. I have no proof of this, but I'm pretty sure that's it. On the subject of allowing porn stars and groomers into their inner circle, there is an interesting ethical dilemma that they hold. These people will happily collaborate with people like Amaranth or other porn stars despite knowing that they have a majority child audience, and are advertising it to them. But for whatever reason, this group is very, very against gambling, as gambling is addictive. Curious. But clearly they don't care that much because they'll also happily collaborate with gambling streamers. If you're interested in a deeper analysis of the dangers of porn stars on Twitch, I highly recommend my video on it. There will be a link in the description, as I go into much more detail about my opinions. But regardless, thank you for watching, and if anyone watching is planning on becoming a content creator, or accidentally blows up on overnight, I cannot stress to you enough, stay away from these types of people. They're social climbers, they're toxic, and I personally cannot wait until the skeletons that they have in their closets are inevitably exposed, because it's coming, they're there, and these people are going to lose their careers to the type of shit they're doing. Peregrine Productions, bye bye. And, as I am legally obliged to do, I would like to thank my eggs. Cameron Wilson Fan, Cherry Balls, Gold Noodle, Lord Gracchus, Persistent, Despair, Zoe, Freya, Gothic Dino, Slater Rex, and the Perhapsy. I would like to say that a lot of these, like subscriptions, these join membership things, a lot of these are now coming up on the 1 month mark. You're probably about to be charged again, so if you want to quit now is the best time to do it. Yeah, but why am I trying to make myself less money? I'm fucking stupid.